In this video, guys, we're going to look at how we can set up our screens for optimum Forex scalping on MT4. Stay tuned. Hey traders, warm welcome to you. All right, so if you're a Forex scalper, you know that, hey, you're very, very active, you've got your ticket up all the time, you see your blotter, all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, you know, you have a main chart that you're gonna make your trading decisions from. Probably if you're using MT4, and I count MT4 in a moment in the screens, you're probably gonna be using a 1 minute chart. You're probably gonna be there looking for those little flushes, those little flurries, and working around. Perhaps you're using some kind of indicator like a moving average, perhaps you're using a Bollinger Band, kind of fading the Bollinger Band presses, that kind of stuff. But what we're gonna look at in a moment is how we can set up utilize layouts in particular so that we can always get a higher time frame in mind. We can always, you know, understand if we're, especially if we're switching instrument, let's say we've traded something very actively and now we're kind of switching to a yen pair or a euro pair or dollar pair, and we're kind of moving around throughout the day, and also perhaps as the sun moves around the globe and different markets become more volatile, how we can kind of use MT4 and utilize some of the features of it to hopefully keep us a high efficient scalper. Let's see the screens and find out. Okay guys, so I'm in the account here now, and I want to run through how you might want to kind of set things up for a scalper. So if you're a Forex scalper, how you can use layouts, or as MT4 call them, profiles. I guess I'm old school calling them layouts. So what you might want to do, and let's just look for an example of how we might go through the whole process. So here I've got a layout and it's called top down. So in other words, what I'm doing here is I'm going clockwise around and I'm analyzing a currency pair. So here I've got my daily and I've got it in black with a bar setup, and I've got an H4 here, 4 hourly, 15 minute and a 5 minute. So the idea being is, you know, you can adjust and put on the moving averages and the indicators you prefer, do your top down analysis, and kind of mark down your levels and bits and pieces. Now, obviously this is not going to be any good for scalping, because on scalping we want to be in a short time frame chart, and yes, we could have it up there, but I like to have it so that I can maximize this, do some analysis on this, work out my levels I want to do business in, and then immediately goes back to how it was. A better way of doing it is to have a few different types of profiles, or as I call them, layouts. So what I quite like to do is I've got a profile here called yen. So this has some of the yen pairs. So I've got GBP JPY, I've got CAD JPY, Euro JPY, and USD JPY. So what I might do now is I might go, right, which is the strongest pair on the day? And it's obviously, if you're just using our eyeball, it's obviously Euro JPY. You know, USD JPY is struggling a little bit, so that dollar must just be giving it a little bit of grief. Euro JPY is about to break out from highs here. CAD JPY is doing okay, but this is no more than likely the strongest out of the lot, and GBP JPY is doing okay. So if I'm just using that as a strategy to kind of identify which pair I want to be trading on the day, and let's assume that my idea and my strategy is to identify a strong pair on the day based on the kind of currencies that I'm looking at. So let's say if I'm looking at dollar, I'd have dollars in there. I might have AUD USD or USD GBP USD, etc. USD JPY, but obviously don't forget you've got that flipped because of the nature of the way the pair is calculated. So I might just go, right, okay, what am I going to trade today? How do I want to position? And my thesis or my strategy might be to find a strong pair like Euro JP, or what I believe is a strong pair, and which is the strongest out of these four, by eyeball, Euro JPY. Fine, I can now do my analysis on this. I can say, right, maybe I want to buy a breakout of 120.05, maybe I want to wait for a pullback to get long, maybe I want to wait for a push drive higher and a pullback, whatever that may be. That's up to you and how you trade. So then, now I've done that, I might then go back, click my profiles, look at my top down, put in my pair that I'm looking at, and then just do my analysis and make sure there's nothing above it that might stop it on the H4 level. Oh, should I be careful about buying this one because there's something stopping it there? Should I be mindful about a level? Doing all that, changing it to the pair that you're looking at. Now I can go back to my profiles, click on Scalper, and this will be where I do all my trade from. So I'd load up my chart that I was looking at. I've got a few kind of loaded up here already. I'd put the indicators on that I used. Perhaps you like to use an RSI, so you like to buy a strong market. Again, we go back and we looked at the pair, said it was reasonably strong. It was the strongest of the four. Okay, we're going to scalp that from the long side. Now we could look at maybe using an RSI or a Bollinger Band or something as a trigger for this. And maybe we wait until we see our RSI coming back kind of to the midpoint here, or just off the overbought level to buy it and push higher. And we can change this layout as we want, guys. You know, we can insert any indicators we want onto this if we prefer to use a kind of moving average. I know it's popular, 10 period, something like that, pulling back to a 10 period. Perhaps we pull the trigger on that. So you can see how we utilize these layouts to our best advantage. Now, you could put everything on one, and that's perfectly feasible, but what you can't do then is you can't then rearrange things around. So like we went back to that other layout, other profile back here for the top down. You know, for example, here I like to be able to look, do some analysis, go right, as I've got head and shoulders there, classical one, pull back, rotate it back lower, and then put it back to how it was. You can't do that if you've got everything in, because it's going to put all the tile, it's going to put all the windows up as they were. So it's handy to use these profiles and go, right, let me just double check that's still the strongest, yet nothing. Okay, interestingly, maybe GJ's been holding here. So perhaps this is going to be a bit of a fake out. I might want to move to GJ now. So I might go into my scalping window, open my profiles, hit scalper, hit GJ, look, and again, maybe I'm going to put a moving average on there. So look, let's put a 10 period moving average on there. And maybe I think, right, I'm going to buy it when it comes back to here and enter my order from that. So it's very easy to do, guys. Just a reminder of how you do this. Once you're in your profiles, you can literally save as, put your profile name in, and it will save it as that, and then it will appear in here. Now, some of these are already pre-done by MT4, but these are the ones that I've put in. But you might put in things like dollar, you know, pound, euro, indices, whatever it may be, and then you can say, okay, which is the same type of thing, which is the strongest index. Let's have a look at DAX, let's look at FTSE, let's look at CAC, whatever else is available. Let's have a look at maybe USD, let's look at Dow, let's look at NASDAQ, you know, whatever it is, and then you can pick the one you want to do, come back to your scalping window, and then you've got your indicators that help you pull the trigger with scalping, because what you don't want is with your profiles is to be going right and cluttering this all up with stuff which is useful for pulling the trigger, but not so much for conducting your top-down analysis, not so much as well for conducting your kind of which is the strongest or weakest asset analysis. So that's using profiles, guys. Don't forget, a link to them is in the description below. Take care. I'll see you next one. Bye bye.